This is Random Stranger. I'm playing Descent to Undermountain, and we're going to start off with the first quest.
Welcome. Thank you for answering my summons. I am Kelvin, called Blackstaff. I serve as a counselor to the Waterdeep city government. I hold a great interest in the city's well-being, and it is for this reason I have called for you. The Lords of Waterdeep have asked me to find some capable adventurers to investigate a small problem. Kobolds are appearing in the streets of Waterdeep, raiding storehouses, then retreating to a hidden lair. The kobolds no doubt come from the dungeon of Undermountain, probably from a location close to the surface of Waterdeep. The little pests. Something must be driving them out of their natural caverns deep within Undermountain. If unchecked, the kobolds may grow bolder and expand their activities beyond simple theft. The City Watch has stepped up their patrols, but locating the kobolds' base within Undermountain is proving difficult. That is why I have summoned you. We need you to find their lair and stop their raids into Waterdeep. Most of the kobold activity has been reported near the Yawning portal, an inn located in the castle ward. This is not surprising. Within the Yawning portal is a well that provides the easiest entrance into Undermountain. This is where you must start your mission. Here are 2 gold coins to pay your way from the portal into Undermountain. The price of entering or leaving the dungeon is 1 gold piece. Be warned, if you do not have a gold piece to pay for your exit from Undermountain, you will be trapped there. The Lords of Waterdeep thank you for your assistance in this matter. Return here for your reward when you have stopped the raiders.
Alright, now before we go off, we have to go shopping. And the prices are actually all randomized. They'll go up and down depending on your charisma and just random die rolls. The only thing we can really afford is a shield. I am playing a Dwarven Cleric. You can see him up there on the left. None of your equipment, even the stuff you have by default, starts out equipped except for your weapon. So you have to come in here first. The scroll in the upper left always tells you your current quest. So we have to go kill kobolds. So we're in the Yawning portal, the tavern above the dungeon, and it will, something will be coming back to a lot through the game. Essentially, after every quest, we have to come back here. There's different people hanging out here you can chat with. Most of them aren't too helpful. Some of them will give you side quests eventually. This guy will make a bet with you that you don't survive the first section of the game. And it's just some free cash, so why not take it? There are objects that get pushed around in here, and it makes it really tough to navigate in some areas. This woman, if you're playing a mage or a thief, will give you some extra equipment to help you survive those early levels. It's not really that helpful, though. Descent to Undermountain is a game with a lot of problems. I'm playing the original unpatched version. I know there's a patch out there that actually improves performance a bit, but I felt like the original version really is what we documented. Right, you can see in the status window there's little messages that will give you some information on the environment. That told me the kobolds are over in this area. You are extremely vulnerable here. That sign is a reference to the original Zork. As I was saying, you're extremely vulnerable. So really the only way to play this game is to creep and save. You might notice occasional audio glitches here as I'm saving. That's an illusionary wall. You could tell because the lighting didn't work on it properly, and you can just walk through it. And inside, if you are playing anything other than a warrior, there's some bracers there that are better than just about any armor that you can find in the game. So that will be my primary armor pretty much for the rest of the game until I get maybe Chainmail +2. Spells are accessed by going to the inventory, clicking on the spells button. If you're a wizard, you start with no spells. Go figure. The ladders in this game are the absolute worst. You have to approach them and then hit the A key, which is the activate button. And then you can go up them. Going down is horrible. We've got another note there. Tells us that there's some other factions involved here. To go down a ladder, you actually have to go backwards very slowly off the edge where the ladder is. And sometimes it doesn't work. And you take damage, because if you fall more than your height, you get hurt. So Interplay announced Descent to Undermountain shortly after they released the original Descent. The plan was that it would be released in roughly summer 1995. And then it became rather infamous vaporware with Interplay. Every time a release date came up, they said it'd be out 3 months later. And this went on for a couple years until they finally shipped it out on December 17th, 1997. Just 1 week, exactly 1 week, before they shipped Baldur's Gate. There's some chainmail, but it's actually weaker than the bracers, so I'm not going to put it on. If you haven't played Dungeons & Dragons before, or at least 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons, there's a lot of restrictions on your characters. Those jars contain potions. Clerics can only use blunt weapons, so I have to stick to maces, hammers, things like that. You see, the kobolds are using daggers which do 1 to 4 damage if they hit you. And since I start out with 10 hit points, that can go very quickly if I try to fight them directly. Mages are even worse because they have a maximum of 4 hit points at their starting level. So just one fight with any of these guys could kill them. I skipped the character creation in this video because it's kind of boring to just watch me flip through buttons and hit the reroll until I've got some stats that might let me survive the game. You open chests in this game by bashing them. Not really helpful. So, Descent to Undermountain is extremely buggy. One of the reasons I have to creep and save a lot is because you tend to get pushed outside of the geometry of the level, and in Descent, that means you just get frozen. You're stuck there permanently. Like these guys, the same things happened to them. They wound up floating in midair. The whole first level is a loop. There's 2 passages that go back here. They all lead to the same place. There's no identifying items in this game. If you find a magic shield or something like that, it will tell you straight out that it's a magic shield plus whatever. If for some reason you did decide you wanted to play Descent to Undermountain, I strongly recommend playing a Cleric. Clerics are the most survivable class in Dungeons & Dragons solo, because they have their own internalized healing. They've got spells to fall back on, and they're okay fighters. The fighter's not a bad option either in this game because a lot of hit points, and they throw health potions around like they're med kits in any first-person shooter. Also, the fighter gets a special item that heals them that they don't bother giving to other classes. The thief gets some neat abilities, like they can climb up some walls, but they're just too weak to survive, and you can't really sneak around or backstab in this game. And mages, while spells are powerful, they are very restricted. And without other support, you're just gonna die. Taking it a little bit slow here because it's easy to fall off and get stuck in the geometry or lose a ton of health from falling. I'm still missing a couple other things up there, so I'm going to have to go back up. Picked up a ton of stuff here. There's our indication that the drow are hanging out down here and setting up temples to their spider goddess. She'll be the big antagonist of the game. And that's kind of what we needed to bring back to complete the quest. Almost got this entire area cleared out, but it's going to be a little while longer. I love how you just kind of waddle around, apparently. You can jump, but it's risky, so I'm not going to do it unless I have to. The map works like in Descent, although it's not freely rotating at least. And it's pretty good for letting you know where you are, how to get down, things like that. The keys cannot be reassigned in this game. You have to move with the arrow keys and hit A and the left control to fight. It's really a pain. There are buttons for a mouse interface if for some reason you wanted to do that, but it's a pain. That switch opened that gate I've already walked through. It's there if you came from the other direction. I was kind of hoping I'd bounce off the top of this ladder for a while, but I got lucky and could climb it immediately. And you might recognize this room. We're back in the starting area. So the only thing left to do is go back up the way we came, which will be kind of the end of every quest, and heading out.